Greg Carson, former player of the Nitehawks and alumni from 1993 to 1997. Also proud member of the first Cyclone Taylor Championship team in Beaver Valley. You're listening to Hawk Talk with hosts and alumni Ross Simner, Jake Morissette, and Connor Jones. Enjoy the show, folks.
Fellas, how's it going?
Not bad. How are you?
What's up? Oh, pretty good, thanks. Sorry, I'm straggling in a little bit late, but yeah, I went to put my headphones in there dead, so...
Don't worry about being late. Sammy won't be here until...
Sammy's at 105
minutes.
He's a 5 minutes late guy.
Okay, perfect.
Don't worry.
The other ones charge up.
But you're just sad because Murr's not there with you this weekend.
I am. I tried to fly him in. He unfortunately was not available.
We should be talking to Murr anyways. He was the first coach,
no
wasn't
doubt.
he?
That's right. Yeah, he was one of the first assistant coaches.
Yeah,
He
that's
coached
true.
the first year. And like him and Darlitz or something?
I think, yeah. Tom and I don't know if there was one other person or not, but yeah.
It really got the ball rolling. How are you, Bones? Haven't spoken to you in a while.
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, all good, all good.
Yeah. And Connor, how's things going on your end? Where are you at now?
Good. I'm in New Jersey.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, no, everything's good. We and you're in Edmonton still?
Yeah, unfortunately.
So did you just I mean we'll get into it, but did you just stay there right after school? Like didn't really leave?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a job here out of school and then you know how it goes. You get enough built up here, enough kind of roots, and I always thought I'd go to school there and then go back to BC somewhere, and it's never worked out that way.
Right.
It's always time, Bones. You're starting to look like Murr now, eh? That's gotta be nice.
That's the meanest thing you've ever said to me.
Yeah, right, man.
Murr's the meanest thing you've ever said.
Murr is the most handsome man I've ever seen.
Oh my God, that's an absurd thing to say.
What's on the walls there in this room?
Yeah, what is that?
Oh
That's
yeah,
baby pictures. No?
It is a bunch of baby pictures.
Is that a disco ball?
It is. So our little girl turned 1 last weekend, and yeah, unfortunately, just the stuff hasn't come down yet.
Oh wow! So you guys decorated like that? Oh, that's so cool.
Well, yeah, you guys.
The disco ball's not there permanently.
I'll give you one hint to it can. I mean, we've just left it there for a while because the sun actually hits it in school, but it clips down.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll give you one guess who set this up. Me or my wife.
Definitely by you.
Yeah, exactly.
You've always been pretty stylish, Bones, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Some of the best style that's ever been on Nitehawk, I think.
Yeah, well, we got to get into Tooch claims he made the tight Under Armour undergear cool in BV.
Tooch claims that he did?
No, that you did.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I actually can't even argue that. I remember I bought some Under Armour stuff like real early when guys were like, what is that?
I think that's why I asked my dad to get one. I was like, hey, I think I need one of these things.
You had that, Bones. I think everyone else was wearing like old cut-off T-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the old zip-up ones?
Yeah, the zip-up bodysuits.
Or like the light blue, like Marc Messier style.
Yeah, the Stanfields.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff was awesome.
But I want to say like the cleanest though, like cleanest shin pad sock, like skate combo. Pant size wasn't too big. You didn't have the I'm trying to think of some of the worst Nitehawk style of all time.
When we played the cut-off pants, like, you know, what am I trying to say? Like, because there was no girdles back then, but guys loved to put their pants on after their skates.
Mm-hmm.
So a bunch of guys had like the cut pants, the open pants. Awful style. You got to look put together out there.
Yeah.
No one's going to take you seriously if you look like a goof. You know, it is funny. I was actually thinking about some of that, and I'm like, I'm going to be a little bit, like, I'm sure you edit them, but I was like, you got to be a little bit careful what you say. You probably don't want to talk about some of the goings on at rookie parties and whatnot that wouldn't fly these days.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the statute of limitations, I think, is passed. So, like, you can.
I think so.
Funny story. Definitely get into it. Mike Valenich last week, he goes, "Yeah, we used to put a little bit of Bailey's in our coffee before practice. After practice."
Did you take that out?
No, I loved it.
I was a little shocked when he said that. I like that though.
I was like, well, it probably would have helped calm you down, I guess. I mean,
well, that's
practice. It's like, did you guys practice back then that late too?
We practiced, yeah.
We were pretty late.
9:30. No?
Yeah, we We were pretty late.
We were definitely late when I played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
My favorite, we only practice like twice a week, I think, too.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mer tells a good story about that Bailey's one reminds me of, and it was Aaron Haynes, I guess, and he showed up one game, and I think it would have been Jonesy. Yeah, it would have been Jonesy at the time, but he whatever bumps into him in the room, so he goes back to Hank, and he's like, I think he's been drinking. I think I smell something. And if I have any details wrong, blame Murr, because he tells it, and I guess he's like, well, we can't play him. And Hank said, no, fuck it, make him play. And so they make him play, and he ended up scoring 3 goals. Yeah, a hat trick after the punishment was making him play.
That's unreal. What's up, Simmy?
Am I coming in late to the stories of the pop?
Yeah, we're already done.
We're pretty
stuff
much
we
done,
can't
yeah.
use.
I can't wait to listen to it, boys.
That's right.
Well, hey, Bryce, I'm 60 minutes late for me is about 50 minutes early.
That's right. Yeah. You're not late.
We got to
early.
remember that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should start actually making them for like saying, hey, we're going at 12:45.
You absolutely should. Like I'm like a kid.
Time
Like
thing. Hey, we're teeing off actually at 1 o'clock.
My swimming's at 3 o'clock. Something's at 2.
Yeah, that is the
I'll
old
be in the
golf
car
trick
waiting.
item.
I'll be in the car waiting with my swimsuit on at 2:30. Welcome everybody. We got episode 16, Sniper Brett Hall version of the Hawk Talk, and what I couldn't have a better guest on today. We're talking about top shelf cheddar. We're gonna say hi to Connor. Well, actually, we'll go with Jakey first with the flat brim hat, rocking it, trying to look a couple years younger over there. In Wales, I didn't know if that trend had kicked in, if it's like just happening over there because it was 10 years ago in North America with the flat brim.
You can't wear a flat brim now. It's a little thin on top. I got to throw something to hide it out there. And yeah, it does make me look a little younger. Is flat brim out?
Well,
No,
it's like
flat brim's not out.
It's out, but it's also like, yeah, for a guy like me, it's never been in. So, Connor, you don't need no flat brim, that's for sure.
No, I got a fresh haircut. Obviously, it's time. I felt like, hey, if we're gonna record, it's probably time to get a haircut.
I feel like you got a fresh haircut every time we do this. But
the
guy we're interviewing with his style today, he's right up there with his haircut.
Yeah. Hey, the guy we're interviewing, we were talking before the show. Some of the cleanest style any Nitehawk has ever had, for sure.
Well, I was just saying, okay, we're gonna introduce him now because I've actually never seen his face because he always just wear a cage as an AP player. So I'm gonna say it actually looks pretty half good. They're nice smile, full rack of teeth. I just thought the guy AP'd for a few years and then just fizzled off into the sunset. But it looks like he's actually had a pretty good little hockey career there. We got Mr. Derek Price coming into the show today. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, thanks. Appreciate the warm welcome.
That was just a bit of a rookie thing. I'm joking, man.
I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
Pricey is just one of the absolute best. I remember getting to see him years after he played when he were in Banff with Edmonton there. So how you doing? We're happy to have you on, and kind of tell us a little bit about where you're at, what you're doing, and then we're going to dive into the Price years.
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks, Simmy. So I'm up in Edmonton. I was telling the guys, kind of, assumed I'd do my schooling at the U of A and then head back to BC, and it hasn't worked out that way. So kind of established here now. So yeah, I'm here. I work in finance, and
that's right. So I don't have, as obviously Jakey and these guys got more. So I remember one time, I think it was you that we were on the road, and this is actually, I hope they still do it. Maybe you guys can tell me if they still do it on Teams, but the shoe check. I do remember I really enjoyed the shoe check. I'm going to start doing it to people just at work and stuff, I believe. But I remember you were shoe checking. I think I asked you to shoe check, I believe with Jarrett Mason. And then I think I tipped him off, and I believe he poured syrup on your head.
I hate to do this for the pod. I'd love to say I don't think that was me, Simmy.
Okay, good. I'm glad it was. I just wanted to throw it out there.
I'm sure you would have. I'm sure you would have done it to me. It's not like I was above that, but I don't think that was me.
Rookie initiation we did, but I actually think it might have been a vet that we did it to. Who cares? It's just a person. Like might have been Roops.
I was honestly thinking that's who it was.
I think it was, right, Jake? I think it was a reverse. It was a reverse shoe check. But I really do hope they still do shoe checks. Connor, were you ever a shoe check guy?
I was the shoe check guy because I got to see as a kid watching you guys all do it, and I was like, one of the all-time best ones is I just hit under the buffet table with the thing of ketchup and just got everybody. And then I even got my own shoe just to make sure I wasn't
that's next.
wasn't culprit, but so everyone had a little ketchup.
I might just go to a buffet tonight and just do that. Just to bring back old times. I know we would get. I mean, I think we got two. I think Jonesy got shoe checked. It was a great time to be alive in the shoe check.
Someone even braved it once and got poison, Hanky Boy.
I think someone might have got Hank and got a little bit on his.
I saw that once and was luckily it was a Granny's buffet and he took it all right.
And it's somebody got on his pajama pants that he was wearing because it wasn't quite noon yet.
That's what that red on the skull and crossbones was. I always wondered. Ketchup. There's a pretty. I remember there's like a legendary story. One of the Sutters did that. I think. Got shoe checked. So at the next meal, hid under the buffet table and got all the players, all the team staff, coaches, family members, everyone got it.
That's where I got it from. There we go. So Pricer, talk about like growing up in Fruitvale and like, Tooch brought up, he said like you had some of the best minor hockey class or team like in BV history or something.
It was a pretty strong group. I was born in 85 and yeah, we always had a good team in Beaver Valley. There's myself, Ryan Costanzo, Chris Kissick. I'm sure I'm missing some. Dallas was a year older. In Trail, there was Travis Scarlett. Dave Eccles was a year older. So we both had really strong groups growing up. And yeah, back to your first question, growing up in Beaver Valley, watching the Nitehawks, that was always it, right? That was where you wanted to play. There was, it wasn't until I got to be 15, 16 that you start to think about playing elsewhere. It was always, you wanted to play for the Hawks. You wanted to play in Beaver Valley. And yeah, some of the best hockey memories I have is the, call it 1 3/4 years spent with the Nighthawks.
Yeah, that's wicked. You guys had that big rivalry with those guys. And then when you joined the Hawks, you ended up playing with
them.
The Trail team. What was that
yeah.
like? 'Cause I know for me it was really cool because I'm like growing up playing against all the guys I played against in Trail, then being on their team and going to school.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
It was, right? Because you always, as you say, you always played against those guys and, you went to school with them in high school and you never, it brings something special up when you're playing against guys that you're also friends with. So yeah, we wanted to beat those guys so bad. And then to play with them on the Nighthawks, yeah, it was awesome. Whether it was, like I say, Travis Scarlett or John Hanley, it was nice not to have him run around after you and chasing the other team for once. You always kind of had a special place for those guys that you battled with all the way growing up.
You're kind of, obviously the way you played was, very dynamic, that you grew your game a lot, obviously, as you got a bit older, but probably one of the nicest guys like on the ice. Like it was like great call, ref. Like like at very limited pims. Like I just remember he was always just like kind of like the poster child for I don't want to say most sportsmanlike because yeah, you're very sportsmanlike, but you're just like a solid, like you understood the game. You're very transparent with everybody.
I appreciate that.
Good goal against us. They held the play.
I that might be a slight exaggeration. I hope I never congratulated the other team for scoring against us. But I would love to say I ran my mouth and talked a little trash, but it was something I wasn't blessed with. I would be, if I tried to engage in that, I'd be one of the worst. So I had to go the other way and just, hey, good hit, good, yeah, you got me 2 minutes there. Good call, ref.
But also just like you're a disciplined player.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is I'm soft, Simmy, which I can't argue against.
You were disciplined, okay?
That's a polite way of putting it.
I'm giving the guy props for being a disciplined player. The era now where discipline is is both on the ice and off the ice guy. You're supposed to just, like you would do there, just congratulate. So, back, can you talk a little bit about just obviously we had a great coaching crew and ownership crew. I'm sure you were in the in the Hank playbook as a score three most games or whatever you call it. But just your relationship kind of with with it was a tight knit group. But any stories or anything with the Tooch man? I know you and Jakey would mess with him a few times, things like that, or Jonesy or Hank.
Yeah, as you say, great relationships with those guys. I mean, I still keep in touch with them when I'm back there. Still vividly remember the what I don't know what you would call it, maybe a jester toque that Jonesy would wear with with the sweaters. That's right.
Jakey's laughing a little bit because he knows that I'm trying to the Tooch one.
Yeah, that's right. The long. Oh,
I think you're motioning a bald eagle.
Is he going to the bald eagle story?
Well, I don't know if you're thinking the same one. I'm thinking the one. Are you talking the picture we drew on the board, Jake?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. We kind of ripped off. We ripped off the Trailer Park Boys, and we drew this pretty elaborate photo on the whiteboard in the Hawks room one summer. Of it was Tooch riding a cock. I think instead of a cowboy hat, we drew a bald head on him, and he was. I think that might be the only time Tooch has been like genuinely mad at me. He was mad because
he absolutely snapped because he was an eagle. He was an eagle, right? You guys said.
He's like, wow. I can't believe you drew a bald head on me, and I was
he wasn't even upset about the rest of it.
No problem with riding the cock, just the fact that he was bald.
I remember that he was very livid.
He was not happy.
What about so then obviously like you were kind of one of the group on that. You're one of the weirdos at the back of the bus. You guys took over the Fort Knox, but also just we had some pretty good road trips and stuff there. I remember we had everyone on the bus there. We had with Hank as well. It was always a vibrant trip. Yeah,
it was. And probably the best bus story. I'm sure we get to it a different way, but it's a good segue. So as you guys know well, I was lucky to be blessed with the nickname Boner in my Hawk days.
Well, this was going to be episode 2. It's going to be a long one now. We'll get to that in a sec.
Well, it's my best bus story.
Well, there's a documentary coming out just on that part alone.
So yeah, I was blessed with the nickname Boner, which ended up following me right through the rest of my hockey career, just from playing with guys I'd played with in previous places. But everyone, thought there was some great or awful story behind that. And it wasn't a good story. We were coming back from a road trip in Grand Forks, and it was late, and we stopped at the gas station, and I was walking by the magazine section, just walking by, and it was Jarrett and Judgy start yelling, "Oh, this guy's trying to get me to buy him porno. He's trying to get me to buy him pornos." And so they're yelling, making a big scene, and there's probably 10 other people in this gas station wondering what's going on. And then we get on the bus, and I was 15 at the time, so I'm sitting at the front, and then it just starts from the back of the bus, you can imagine what they're saying that I'm doing with these pornos, that I was trying to get Jarrett to buy me the Grand Forks gas station. And then he's got a boner on the bus, and eventually it's Boner, and that stupid story, it stuck with me through my last year at the U of A. It followed me everywhere I went. I remember Jonesy yelling it to me in the hallways at school.
It's not with you now, but can you send me can you hook me up by your work email so I can make sure I blast out maybe communications to your work at least?
For sure. I'll send that
Okay, great.
when you wrap. And there are still a contingent. It's more thankfully into bones now. But yeah, it's still with me, Ross. It never
Just
left.
say like, oh, it's because my bones are hard. Like I'm a, tough guy. I'm a bone digger. I'm a grave. Yeah, okay.
I think
But
we got to get into something a little.
The best part is you can buy your own pornos now.
That's right. Yes. I no longer have to call up Jarrett and ask him to boot for me.
That's incredible.
I think we're talking about your A period. We can get into something a little different. You were saying earlier about how the Nitehawks was like the thing you wanted to do when you're growing up, like similar to me and Connor said. You had a little bit of a different experience in your first game.
I did. Yeah,
get into that.
Absolutely. So, like I was saying, yeah, you grow up, you want to play for the Nitehawks. That's everything. From when you're a little guy, giving the guys high fives on the way off the ice. But
oh yeah.
So my first it was home opener when I was 15, and yeah, so I'm an affiliate, so I'm wearing a cage, which is strike one. And it just so happened that the only jersey, it must have been the only jersey, or else someone didn't like me. The only jersey they had for me was a number 1 goalie jersey. So yeah, we're doing the introductions at the start of the game, and I've got to skate out. First kind of experience in the Hawks Nest with the Nitehawks, and I've got this giant number 1 goalie jersey, and they introduced me as number 1 Derek Price. Yeah, that was so I started my career on a high note.
I don't even think you're the only non-goalie to ever wear a number 1. Has it ever been done?
I don't know. You'd have to check the records, but I have a hard time believing it has been.
Did you have a good game?
Oh, probably not. How could you after that?
Wow.
We were talking about style, and I'm a big believer in look good, feel good, play good. Well, how can you feel good when you're wearing a number 1 goalie jersey? I can't imagine what guys would have been saying to me out there.
You were the style man too. Imagine the size of that jersey in your first game.
Right, you walk in,
It was terrible.
You were a smooth skater though. It's probably flowing behind you like Mike Madden.
That's all we had.
just terrible. You can imagine how.
Now let me ask you this here, Bones. Because I often do this when I'm coaching. I don't want a kid to, if they want. So would you have rather a taped on second number with white tape, or just go with number 1?
Second number all day.
Taped on?
Really?
For sure.
Like,
you don't want to be number 1.
Yeah, wow, 91 or but
Anything.
taped on.
Isn't it better all these years later that you actually wore number 1?
Oh, like if I may have a spot in Nighthawks history, which
I think it was one hockey history. Hockey history. I don't think anyone's wore 1 other than a gold.
And you're probably right for obvious reasons.
The baggy jersey is one of the worst feelings. Like, you just look kind of silly. You feel like, I can't imagine going. I would have been like that. I'm not playing with this jersey. Like, get me something better.
Oh, you guys! I'd just be happy to be there, man.
Well, Simmy, you had the baggy look anyways, though. Like, you had the kind of fit into the penalty minutes persona.
That's because I don't think I was wearing my shoulder pads there, so everything was kind of baggy. Like Shane Drake baggy look, right? We try to support each other, right? We're being vulnerable here, boys. That's a big term out 2024. So all right there, Bones. So after obviously you played with the Nitehawks, you really cut your teeth there. Then you went off to the mighty Kootenay Ice and had a good career there. Tell us a little bit about that. Obviously, I mean, it looks like you got your classic 4 games with Trail, but you weren't interested in that. You were never going to be, you're kind of always going the dub route.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because growing up in Beaver Valley, talked about watching the Nitehawks, going to the Nitehawks games. Always wanted to play for the Nitehawks. Obviously went to a lot of Smoke Eaters games through that same period, and I never really thought of myself as playing for Trail, and that's not, there's no reason behind that. I just kind of, it was Nitehawks, and then once I got to that age, was fortunate enough to be drafted to the Western League. That was kind of always the next step for me. So yeah, I think I played a couple games with Trail that year when I was playing with the Nitehawks, and then the next year made the jump to the Kootenay Ice, which was an awesome experience. We it was the year after they won the Memorial Cup, so unfortunately I missed that. But we always had a good team, always had really good coaching. Played for Corey Clouston there, who went on to a short stint in the NHL. Our assistant coach was Brad Lauer, who's still kicking around. I think he's with Winnipeg now. So great experience. Always, when I was playing in Cranbrook, I always kind of wanted to play somewhere else a little further from home, experience a big city. But looking back on it, was really fortunate to play in Cranbrook. It was close enough. My parents came to, almost all of my games. So it was great experience. We I think when I was 19, it was a cool year because it was the lockout. So we had really strong age group. There was a lot of guys that year that probably would have made the jump to the NHL. There was Ryan Getzlaff, Dion Phaneuf, Shea Weber, and even some I'm not thinking of, Mike Green, that all played in the Western League that year. So the league was really strong, and we had a really good team that year. We were led by Nigel Dawes, Jeff Glass, both of which won gold with the World Juniors that year. And we won the regular season championship, unfortunately lost to Kelowna in the Western Conference final that year. If I still think if we won that, probably go on and end up playing in the Memorial Cup. But it was a great experience all around, and still look back really fondly on those years.
Were those years when you came back for the alumni game? I remember one time, did you not lose a tooth in one of the games?
I didn't lose. I didn't lose a tooth.
He took more pins in those games in his whole career.
Probably. The one thing I remember about the alumni game, the one year, it was a really good setup. A lot of guys were back. I remember Jake and I played on a team, and we were good. We won our first couple games, and I think the setup was every team got a cooler of beer, and it just so happened that Jonesy brings in like 2 or 3 refills for ours. So by the last game, we were buckled. And I remember it was the last game of this thing. There was actually like people in the stands. I don't know if people didn't have anything better to do over the Christmas break that year. But after like 2 shifts in the last game, I skated off and just mid-play went off the ice because I was like, I'm in no shape to be playing hockey right now. So, to this day, I hold out that Jonesy sabotaged us by just feeding us beer all day.
Yeah, I remember that was a setup. Cost us the tourney.
It still eats at me.
Those tourneys, though, I think like you get going. You have all these kind of ideas like, I'll great skate with this guy. I'll link up with this guy again for old time's sake. And then like after game one, you're just kind of like, you start shooting the shit, having a few beers, and everything kind of just falls apart, right? Which is great. I think that's kind of the way it happens. But it's like, that's why you just do one game. Like the tournament, it's just like do a game, maybe like play one game, and after it's like, now let's hit the banquet, fellas. Like I'm a big banquet fan, right? Let's just banquet up for the most part.
Yeah, the gaps between games was our undoing, that's for sure.
Yeah. So then your last, you went obviously Swift Current for a year, and then with Saskatoon there for playoffs. That was your last year of major junior, yeah.
Yeah, became a bit of a suitcase. My last year was moved to Swift Current right before the end of the year. Yeah, it's numbers game, right? That's the story I'll stick to. We had too many 20-year-olds in Cranbrook, and they moved me to Swift Current.
You said you wanted to move further away.
That's right.
You told them.
That's right. Demanded a trade. Went to the big metropolis of Swift Current. It was a bit of a shock. As I said, we were always very good in Kootenay, and moved to Swift Current where we were not. I think I was actually leading the chase for the green jacket that year. Was Dash a lot. Thankfully, don't remember the exact number. And then at the deadline, Saskatoon was kind of loading up, and I happened to have played with a guy that was in Saskatoon at the time. So he gives me a call the night before the deadline. He's like, I think we might be making a move for you. My coach was asking me about you, and said we're looking at you. So, I'm kind of excited because I think we were in last place, and Swift and Saskatoon had a good team, and it was, the deadline comes and goes about 5 minutes after, and I was sitting in the dressing room, a little disappointed that it didn't happen. And then get the nod from coach coming to the office, and sure enough was moved to Saskatoon. And the run didn't pan out like we wanted, but played with some good players there. They had Anton Hudobin, who went on to a good career in the NHL, Devin Setaguchi, and others. So that was the cap on my Western Hockey League career.
Then it was off to hit up the academics. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, was kind of all lined up. Was going to go to UBC, and then it was actually in 06, the year the Oilers went to the Cup final, and U of A brought me in for a fly down, took me to a game in the playoffs that year. And yeah, for the U of A, obviously a storied program, a winning tradition. So kind of switched gears and came out to Edmonton and played here with U of A and won a championship in 2008. And yeah, really kind of a good ending to my hockey career.
So after U of A, did you know like you wanted to get into finance? Like, was that something like you always thought about, or like you got to school and it was like, hey, this is kind of what I feel like I'm good at?
No, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And it's funny to work in finance and deal with numbers now. That was always the one area that I kind of, I don't want to say I struggled with at school, but I had to work at. I never would have envisioned myself working in finance. I actually took a marketing degree, but one of our alumni while I was in school was working with Canadian Western Bank at the time. And, I think it was about halfway through my last year, and I wasn't playing because I'd had a couple surgeries on my wrist. And so I'm starting to think about next steps because I wasn't going to be playing after I was done. And he just said, hey, do you want to interview with the bank? They have kind of this program to get into commercial banking and lending. Like I said, didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I said, sure, why not? And took him up on that and ended up spending about 10 years with the bank out of school, and then transitioned over to the brokerage where I currently work, which is KB Capital.
Nice. And you say you got just one daughter?
Just one. Yeah. Yeah. Me and my wife had her first actually last April. So she's about a bang on a year old now.
Unreal. How was the first birthday party? We saw the disco ball earlier.
I'm sorry, boys. I was gonna make a joke there about Judgy and Mace and the all like your nickname. You only have one. There's one that he knows of. But anyways, it's just
it's no. That's it's the natural joke to make. Yeah. No, it's the natural place to take it. So
nice. How's dad life been?
It's been really good. Been busy as I'm sure everyone can relate to. So it's been a bit of a blur, but it's been awesome, and she's really fun now. She's up cruising around, walking, running, and getting into everything. So keeps you busy.
Are you saying that kids under one aren't fun?
I'm not saying that. Yeah, I'm not saying that.
When they start actually doing stuff, that's when it gets like pretty funny. You have to kind of fake it when they're not saying, it's so. Speaking of though, I got a kids yell for hurry up, we're leaving for swimming, and apparently I'm going to the pool today. So I got a jet, boys.
Okay.
Heck of a time seeing you there.
Show up late and leave early, eh? That's kind of classic.
Right.
Wouldn't expect any less. Good to see you too, right? Ross.
That's how we roll. It'd be fantastic, man. I think you got some really good stories there. And I was hoping you were good with bringing that one up for sure, Grand Forks.
Of course.
As Jakey calls it, pad the stats night. Oh, all right, fellas. Have a good one. Great seeing everyone again.
See you, Sammy.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sammy. Jake, can we talk about it's one of my favorite personalities from our time with the Nitehawks, and one of the funniest memories I have, and I don't want to air him out here. I haven't seen him in a long time, but playing with Travis Harding. Yeah, and I just it's so funny to me. And do you remember? So Travis was
well, hey Derek, great having you on, and this has just been so fun. One of by far the most we've laughed since hearing the Burnett stories with Draker. And what was his alter ego, Jake?
was I can't remember the first name. Something Seth Sweepstakes, I think.
That's sweepstakes.
Or Steve Sweepstakes. I can't remember.
I think laughing about the boner story almost got me to where I started laughing about Draker eating the apple core, the rotten apple core.
And the guy does like his rotten fruit, but we can go on for days about that.
But it's great to see you doing so well. Just great to see you, and hopefully, we'll get back. You get back for maybe get to go golf clubs out for the tournament in August here.
Yeah, I would love to. Thanks for having me on, guys. And any time in the future, just let me know, and would love to connect with you guys again.
That's awesome. Thanks, Bones.
Okay, thanks, Bones.
Okay, thanks, guys.
See ya.
Hi, listeners. This is former Nitehawks player and captain Morgan Peace from the 2017 to 2020 seasons. I hope you're enjoying the show. Make sure to follow us on social media at BV Nitehawks Alums and to visit our website at bvnighthawksalum.ca.